Woohoo!
Hello, hello.
Hello, internet. Hello, Twitch. All right, we are back, and we are wrapping up the 72-hour block of live streaming for the Extra Live event for Impact Gaming Community here. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone in the room here and everyone who, because everyone in my room here with me, you guys can't see them, are everyone who streamed on Twitch or was a part of the event in some way. AI Monster couldn't be with us because he had to go to bed. And I think Crybound isn't here, but I think mostly we've got all the streamers here. So really big thank you to you guys. And I guess Rainbow's going to go over sort of all the stats for what we did today, over the past 3 days actually, and then we'll just kind of talk about, how our streams went and stuff for however long we want. So how did we do?
It ended up looking like we hit just over half of our goal, which, yeah, that's like half of the goal, but that's still $1,000. That's still a big deal. I think you actually were the one with the highest amount of donations by far. Yeah, Gray. And then everybody else pretty hit the mark pretty darn well, actually. It looked like for a lot of the stream session that I was watching it on, we had at least 10 to 12 concurrent viewers at a go, which is pretty darn good too, actually.
Yeah, there was one stream report that came in that we had 15 or 16. Pretty well. Way higher than our average.
Yeah, exactly, and which is totally, I think, to be expected with a charity stream and with how heavily we were pushing it.
So I started off the stream on Friday at midnight playing Inside. And I guess we'll just kind of go in order of the stuff that we did. We pull this tab out to another window so it doesn't pop up all the time. I don't know if did anybody here play Inside or Limbo?
I've
seen no.
Game Grumps play Inside.
Okay, yeah, it's the same developer, Playdead. Like, I loved Limbo. It was such a short game. Like, you feel like you're just getting into it 3-4 hours in, and then it's over. And I know that this game is exactly the same, but it's such a beautiful game, and it goes on sale real cheap, like $5 or something like that. It's such a cute little like horror suspense thriller kind of like little walking simulator almost game, but it does have puzzles in it. So you have to complete these puzzles in order to like move forward, and you have to figure out really through deaths, almost like in a Dark Souls ways, like how the game wants you to play it essentially, or how to think the puzzle out, or this particular scenario where like a dog's chasing you, so you have to run at a certain time and jump at a certain time. And it's been in my backlog for like a year or more at this point. And I was so glad to get to actually play it finally and like have a reason to play. Like, all right, I went 2 hours, I'm gonna get like halfway through this game, and I just like I loved it. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish it hopefully this week, if not next week, because like it had me like really going. And like I love those games that give you like jump scares, that really does a lot for me.
Yeah, I really like those games. Limbo I like just because it gets a point across at the very end and it does it well. Definitely. And I heard it's the same for the one you were
Inside. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah. It's just really like, we play in this world where people are like all about, or at least developers and publishers think we're all about these fancy games, these big budget AAA games, and that gets a lot of flack like lately from certain content creators. But like to be able to play a game that is simple and relatively low budget and made by a small team, and it captivates you, it's like it says something about the art form of video games and why like Extra Life is attached to something like video games, because it's just it conveys something that like words cannot convey. Like to have fun playing a game that is just, hey, it's just there, So Ryu then followed up my slot playing Dark Souls, and I gotta tell you, I'm not a Dark Souls fan, and I've never watched anyone play Dark Souls on Twitch, but I was really interested in watching you play it because you're super familiar with the game. So why did you choose Dark Souls? And that sounds kind of like a leading question, but why did you choose Dark Souls? Because it's such a weird, to me, an odd game.
Well, I mean, I picked up Dark Souls when it was on sale for like $5 one time because I was talking with like all my friends I play with then, and they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hey guys, is Dark Souls good? I've heard some good things about it." And they're like, "Yeah, Dark Souls is hard, but I think you'd like it." And so I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll just do like a blind playthrough." So basically, no walkthroughs, not knowing what's ahead of time. And so, like on my channel, I've got a full playthrough of Dark Souls 1, just like blind playthrough. And I'm like, "Hey guys, should I do Dark Souls 2?" And like, "Yeah, do Dark Souls 2." And then I did that, and I got frustrated because one boss is a piece of just garbage design, and I didn't beat that, but I didn't care because wasn't having fun with it. And I'm currently going through Dark Souls 3, and I'm having fun again. But the thing about Dark Souls is that it's the Dark Souls of Dark Souls. So, I mean, it is difficult, yes, but it follows its own rules, so to say. It doesn't. I learned that the game doesn't cheat you. You just have to learn to use the rules to your advantage. So people do naked runs of Dark Souls all the time. That's just no armor, and you have to dodge everything, time it perfectly, and know like all the hit boxes and everything. So I thought, that'd be good. That'd be a cool thing to do. And the famous thing about Dark Souls is, of course, it's hard, so you die a lot. So I've challenged myself. I'll play Dark Souls, and every time I die, I'll donate $5. So, a little bit of extra added incentive there to not die. And, when we started playing at 2 a.m. Eastern time, there wasn't, like a whole ton of people on stream, but that was during kind of the more boring parts of the game where it's like the intro and the tutorial and stuff like that. So later on, when it kicked off, had a few more people watching and, had that really funny moment where I fell down this tower and lost like 10,000 souls because
hilarious.
Essentially I tripped. And someone in chat was like, "Don't worry, everyone falls down the Moonglow Tower at least once." So and then like Rainbow was supposed to take over, but I mean it was 4 a.m. and she was sleeping, so that's understandable.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
After Dark Souls, I just started playing Oxygen Not Included, which is, I don't know if you ever played Dwarf Fortress, but it's basically just a management game where you manage your little dudes and tell them to do tasks and stuff, and essentially you're having fun while dying is kind of the what is it? Motto. The motto of it. So played a little bit of that.
Like your theme with the game is like have fun while dying this weekend.
Yeah, apparently.
Dark Souls to me, I don't like Dark Souls. I've played only the first Dark Souls. I didn't play Demon Souls. And to me, like, it's weird because it has this reputation for being such a hard game, and then the player base itself, which, is this self-proclaimed sort of hardcore player base, whatever, they have then created ways to make the game harder for themselves and challenging themselves, like, outside of the achievement system to do these crazy things and get people to watch. And, like, I think Twitch streaming was so important to growing the concept of Dark Souls, because people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a soul level 1 challenge. I'm gonna do no armor challenge." Like that kind of stuff actually interests me more than the idea of the game itself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's just runs out there I see that just blow my mind, like no fire challenge where you don't rest at a bonfire. There's no hit challenge where you go through the entire game without getting hit once. And it's, I mean, the community itself, I'm nowhere near the quote unquote get good level. But
well, you impressed me.
I mean,
dying 11 times in just that, like the whole time you played Dark Souls, that's like me in like half an hour of Dark Souls.
And again, I practiced a lot beforehand because, yeah, practice was necessary for that run, definitely.
Well, I'd imagine it. So, following your stuff was Moose, and also Rainbow. Don't feel bad about missing the 4 a.m. slot, because let me tell you, I had a hard time getting my ass out of bed at 7:30 this morning on a Sunday to play KOTOR.
Oh,
so
7:30.
But this man,
7:30.
yeah, this man over here in early morning slots in the PST time zone for this. So Moose played Smite this weekend, and how did you manage, and what happened? Because I was asleep. I don't know.
I was asleep.
I have no idea.
I woke up like at 4:30ish. Was like, all right, I'm gonna get some coffee. Gonna try to wake up, some water. And I was practicing a few games until my time came on, so it's not like super. And most of the games were. And I also got Alpha to join me as well, which I did not know he played.
I didn't know he
So it
played
kinda helped.
either.
But it was fun. I was kind of out of it. It's my. I've played it for I don't know how many years now.
It's been around for a lot of years.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that like has sort of come and gone in IGC. We even had like a small group many years ago that our ex WoW guild leader Thaner and Fish had. It never really stuck here, but I know that there's players that play it. What to you is the thing that sets Smite apart from similar games that have you going back to it?
Third person, it's more like World of Warcraft Arena and such like that. I can't play other MOBAs because all of them are top down or at a certain angle where you have to click. I'm not too much of a clicker. That's not really me. So this helps, like, this makes me play MOBAs because it's the only one I could really play because it's not top down, it's not clicky. It's like WoW Arena. It's the best way I could explain.
You still play WoW all the time.
Oh, no, I quit. I'm
Quit WoW? No.
Yeah.
Just seasonal now, right? That's how
He's
that works?
clean.
Until another expansion comes.
That's right.
It's a. I'll say this. This is honest opinion. My guild thinks otherwise, but my reason for leaving was BFA, their current expansion, is actually
It's boring.
it
You're cutting out a little
instead
bit.
of. Oh, it's my mic probably. Instead of being more powerful as a player, you got weaker, and it doesn't feel good. They take away a lot instead of giving you.
I can understand
The
that.
expansion was like a step backwards in power with players.
I mean,
So that's why I quit.
They're like trying to reset a power creep in some strange way or something like that.
Make it more casual.
Okay, makes sense. That's the other one that I would have guessed.
Yeah,
So trying to get
Yeah,
more
it's-
subs and stuff like that. That game still runs on a sub model.
yeah, it does, but it's pretty low at the moment, and they won't give the numbers. But I can't remember. Somebody figured out something, and they have a estimated number, so it's close to.
You know what? Whatever. I think when you get on with an MMO for so many years, like you figure the servers have been paid for a long time now. Like, I think Final Fantasy XI got to that point. EverQuest got to that point a long time ago. WoW got to that point probably after 2 years, maybe 3. I don't think Blizzard's worrying about money and paying the bills, keeping the lights on at this point, based on BlizzCon this past weekend. So they're doing some weird stuff. So I'm glad that you have another game that you enjoy, Smite, and I'm also glad that you quit WoW. Remember to go to your rehab program and keep up with that. It's gonna be really important to your recovery.
Who's got Final Fantasy 14?
Oh, don't get him started on another drug. That's like trading crack for something else. Like, come on, man.
No, it's like going from smoking to vaping.
Vaping is not better.
That's
Come
interesting.
on,
It's not-
I've been here.
Here, let me just inhale water into my lungs. Tell me why that's a good.
Because that
'Cause
water doesn't have
vape isn't $6 a pack.
or has carbon monoxide in it. All right.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you just go swim in a river and start sucking in water?
sure.
Maybe I
Do it a
will.
lot faster.
You don't know me,
So after
Regan
the
does not
Smite
advocate
stuff,
suicide by drowning.
going back to Dark Souls, was there anything that stood out about the sort of second run through? Was this a continuation? Just picked up where you left off, right? With the Dark Souls.
Yeah, just picked up where I left off, and really I think the hardest part is there's just like certain enemy groupings during that time. And I mean, at that point, it's a good place for invasions. So I got invaded twice, died twice there. So I mean, that's just part of the experience.
The
I'm just kind of going through my head.
Invasions are other players that come into the game, right?
Yep.
So
they enter your game world and they try to kill you.
That's super surprising that people are still playing that game so many years later.
Yeah, it's not even the remastered version. It's the Prepare to Die version.
So interesting.
Yeah, so I'm thinking just going through, because, I mean, the gargoyles didn't give me too much problem. After that, it was... shoot, there goes my brain. I mean, really, a lot of the times, like, at least half the deaths were me just messing up, doing something stupid, timing my rolls poorly. I think really the worst part of that second run was the gaping dragon fight, just because I couldn't do a lot of damage. The fight itself is easy, it's just I wasn't doing a ton of damage, so it just dragged on, and that was time I could have been using for going elsewhere, traveling through Blight Town. But
punching in the butt.
Yeah.
Yep. I had to get punching in the butt. Yeah. I mean, that's I really regretted that. I looking back, I mean, I should have just used a homeward bone to go back to the bonfire and try again, but in the moment, you don't really think of that.
Well, I think it's
and the NPC I summoned, like died in the first minute, so.
But like it becomes like a testament to your skill at that point, because like you're playing it with a fist only weapon that you're trying to keep upgraded, and it's taking 20 minutes, but more so than it takes 20 minutes to kill the boss, you survived for 20 minutes, like dodging and stuff with no armor. Like,
yeah,
there's that half of it that like, people kind of look past, but like it was not easy to do what you did when you did that fight, despite how long it took that long for a reason.
Yeah, Gaping Dragon is one of the easier fights. It's it just took forever, but. I mean that we had that clip where I fell off the Moonlight Tower. I was just like, all right, let's head back. Oh, crunch.
That's the best part.
And I had to run back and grab those souls and hopefully not lose them. But overall, I mean, had a lot of fun, and Rainbow popped in. It's like, hey, you almost done? I'm like, yeah, let's just. I'm just gonna go fight this boss because I might fight it, I might die. And it was right there, so I ran to the boss, and she killed me, and that was the last death, and it, just kind of ended up on that.
Oh, you gave it a shot. You were trying to rush it.
I wasn't trying to rush the boss; just kind of rushed the area. It's just that I dodged right into lava, and then she smacked me into it. So
yeah,
mistake on my part.
Got Dark Soul.
But that's Dark Souls. So, I mean, I had a lot of fun with the run, challenging myself, trying not to die.
I think you did well. Got it all on tape, so you can review that. I like that, Rainbow, you came in and you flipped the stream from this like hardcore thing that had been going on all morning to this like lighthearted, I'm gonna play Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Like it was like just a complete switch in tone. So tell me, how did that go? Because you said you never played it before, and I watched all of it, but I had no idea what the heck was going on because it's a Zelda game.
It went really well. It was, I believe it had a couple more votes than the runners-up, so that was why I picked it. I know Guzzle and Ren at least voted for it.
No.
I think Mousy might have too, but...
You know what I voted for. It was not that.
I came in with my pink overlay and completely did something completely different, but it was a lot of fun. I had never played it, and it was instantly charming, so I had a lot of fun playing it. I know I had that one guy that was watching the whole time and giving me a couple tips, and that was really appreciated. I don't know if he's in this group or if he was just a viewer. But
I don't know who he is. You have Secret Admirer out there somewhere in Twitchland.
I guess so. So that I had a lot of fun playing that, and I actually, like you with Inside, I'm hoping to keep playing whether I do it on days we don't have D&D or if I just play it on my own, but I do want to keep going. It was a ton of fun.
Cool, yeah, it looked like a fun, cutesy little game. My wife loved it a lot. She actually was sitting there watching it with me.
I wanted to participate, but my laptop, man, is on its last leg. I noticed the other day that the screen flickers and likes to dim down, so, like, I gave it my best shot. That was all I could handle, really. It could handle.
Good shot. It's great. It went really well. So after Minish Cap, I turned the corner once again to play Fallout New California, which is a mod for Fallout New Vegas. And I did that for about 6 hours on that day, a little more. I loved it, and I don't know if you got to watch it, Moose, because I know you're a fellow Fallout fan.
Here's how I want to play it, but I have Red Dead. I have to do Smite in the morning. I was just like in 76 beta. I don't really got time at the moment, but I will get to it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it has some technical problems. I was experiencing them the entire stream, the game crashing. It was one bug quest, but otherwise, like, people were saying, oh, this is like a DLC quality type mod, and I agree. It is a DLC quality type mod. They had like 30 voice actors. It just feels like a Fallout mod for, but a good quality mod, and
they say there's errors. What Fallout doesn't have errors that modders have to fix later on? Let's get this real. Most Bethesda games that are adventures are not that well made. I mean, gameplay wise, technical, not really. A lot of error.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was crash to desktop stuff. So I don't even know what the heck the error was, or a quest would freeze up, or the sound would cut off, which was like a marker of a bug. But otherwise, it feels like an old school Fallout game in terms of how the emphasis it has on the factions and stuff like that. And it's in the New Vegas engine, so it's got the complex crafting system, and it's got the stat-based persuasion stuff, and a good amount of skill-based stuff spread out throughout. So I really enjoy it. It's another one I'm gonna probably continue, but I might put it off to maybe it gets another patch before I sort of play through it. But it's only supposed to be like 8 to 12 hours. So if you're playing if you like the old school Fallout games and you're looking to just play something that has another sort of continued storyline to that, then go for it. I think it's pretty solid as far as the quality of the content. Bugs aside, just the content itself. I know that it's we say that about Bethesda games all the time, and shouldn't. We should expect better, but this is also a modder, who's been making this for over 7 years, and he did a pretty good job getting this game out. We had more Smite. We had more Minish Cap. I want to talk about. I want Atherton to chime in here because you played a Star Wars campaign early in the morning, and I only got to catch like the first half hour of it before I just knocked out because I had to be up early this morning. How did it go, and how'd your players like it?
I think it went pretty well. We were using a 5e variant of Star Wars, something that, I mean, most of our players in our community are pretty familiar with 5e, so the transition wasn't too bad. But it definitely had that Star Wars theme. Going into it, I wanted to have something kind of light and lighthearted and fun. The idea was I knew players, we were going to have Jedi, we were going to have Darksiders, people, the ne'er-do-wells. And I needed a way to get them all together. So what I did was basically they went to a meeting between some bad people, bad stuff happened, and they were forced to work together.
So you like tricked them all into working together, or they like this is the only option you have to make?
Well, I mean, really, it was the only option that they had. Granted, they could have ended in what I call the Carillion standoff, where everybody has guns and lightsabers pointed at each other. It could have cut each other down, but that wouldn't have been a lot of fun. They rolled with it, found their way out through it was kind of like a underground factory that the Hutts had built their cartel on top of, and they were able to escape. Well, 5 of 6. Rancor had a little different idea.
There was a sacrifice made along the way?
There was. Poor neat Joe.
What happened there?
Well, it had attempted to swallow one of the two Jedi. They were able to wiggle free. However, the consular decided to stay behind and protect his friends. He didn't turn out so well.
Well, sometimes not everybody survives, right?
Yeah, that's part of the fun.
Just how it
Dying in a
goes.
dramatic fashion.
But he went down as a Jedi should then, right? He was protecting his party.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only the goodly aligned characters, but as the more scrupulous people fled to the safety of the ship in an attempt to leave the party behind. Yeah, he fought to the end, trying to protect.
It's a good man, good Jedi. Did you
He
guys
made
use?
Master. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I would have said he kind of modeled his character after Master Plo Koon, and I think he would have been.
Sweet. I love Plo Koon. Man of very few words.
Indeed.
I know star things too,
Yeah.
guys.
That you do.
Uh,
But I think everybody had fun. It was a good, again, kind of a rough and tumble, lighthearted, fun adventure. We played. The intent was to play for 4 hours. We ended up going over by about an hour.
I was gonna ask. I got that stream report, and I'm like, this is way longer than anybody chose the slot for. Who was this? I figured
Yeah.
it was yours because it came right
It
this morning.
got pretty intense at the end.
Awesome. So you plan on doing other Star Wars one shots in the future?
Yeah, currently, I run a weekly campaign. The idea is to either at least once a month, I would like to kind of pick up some of the people that we have in the community. We have 3 concurrent games going, so I don't get a chance to play with a lot of our players. It's a good way to kind of intermix and meet new people, new faces around. Yeah, probably about once a month, unless there's enough, I guess, attention. Maybe we'll look at doing a bi-weekly or weekly.
Yeah, I mean between the two you here and Orcus, the other DM, there seems to be a lot of demand for D&D, and when we see the applications scroll into the community, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, I want to play this game, but I also want to play D&D," and that's been like 6 applications just the past month, I think. People that are interested in doing D&D either as usually as a pretty serious side project. So I think there's room.
In my opinion, 5e really kind of revolutionized things. It's very, very lightweight. It's very easy for DMs. Very, very, very easy for players to just kind of pick up and play. I think we're in the golden age of role playing right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you on that one. I don't think anyone in here would. You would? You would?
No. Well, it's debatable.
Debatable. Well, you don't like 5e. That's what you're saying?
Don't get me wrong. I'm old school. I cut my teeth on 2nd edition. I love it. I played 3rd edition, 3.5, 4th edition, 5th edition, Star Wars, Vampire Masquerade. If there's a role playing system, I probably played it. They all have their merits, but man, 5e just makes it so easy for people to get into it.
Yeah, I mean the software support out there is high for it. I think that's the thing too that really helps it popularize it a lot.
Yeah, between Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, I think there's a couple other smaller ones that are out there. It's just
map
so easy
tools.
to just map tool.
Yeah,
it's just so easy to get into it and stream what everybody's doing.
I'll tell you, before you went live, we had Crybound playing Rocksmith and a couple other games on stream. I think he was playing Rocket League, and a lot of people on his stream. A lot of his stream viewers came over to our stream to watch. I think there was 1 or 2 donations for that too, and it looked really interesting. Like I've never played Rocksmith, but to watch him jam out on the actual guitar was really cool. And he does that a lot on his own stream, so it was super fun to watch. And then Random Impact came up right after that for the 3-hour slot. We played Secret Hitler and we played Codenames. I think the group probably liked Codenames a little more, but Moose, you were there. We played Secret Hitler. I enjoy the crap out of that game. I know Nimri hates me when we play that game.
No, I think he hates both me and you.
You think
'cause
so?
We've done. Yeah.
You know, for those who don't play Secret Hitler or anything, there's a certain like a sort of idea of how you play the game, like certain things and rules you follow, and a certain kind of meta, like you don't pass power to the left in voting. There's a lot of little things, you know, and a lot of tells that give away who fascists and liberals are. But when I think Moose and I play, regardless of our roles, like we don't play like on this set path to make it predictable. Like we throw in a lot of chaos stuff, and people who play by the meta like really hate that, and he hates that so much. Go back and listen to that stream. He is raging for like 90 minutes straight about it. And when we played a couple weeks ago, it was the same thing. He was just like, every time I get the bullet, I'm going to shoot Gray. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he's Hitler or not. I'm going to shoot him. I start to wonder if that's a healthy thing for him to be doing. But I think overall the players have a really good time regardless of who shows up for that. Yeah, I played some PS4 games. He was playing on his channel for 25 hours straight. Gosh bless the guy. Because that is a lot of streaming. That's typically how the game day gets done. But we wanted to do something more collaborative and eclectic than just doing a sort of one person doing their own thing on the channel. But tonight we had a great D&D one shot that I got to play in, and I guess I'm going to pass the mic over to Ryu and Thuzzle to talk about their experience with that, because I've talked too much already.
Well, let's hear it from Thuzzle first as a player.
You heard it here first. It was shit. No, it was good. I liked it. Wish we had some more dynamic lighting because the fog 4 takes a lot of time and stuff. It was really fun playing Keen. It's not a normal character for me. It's usually what my wife tends to play, or people like Rainbow would play.
Hey!
So, what? Would you play Keen?
I guess so. Don't at me like that. Not very nice.
Keen was like your typical acrobatic rogue type character.
Oh, not acrobatic at all.
You definitely tried to play her that way, though.
Oh, yeah. She was an investigator. She was monocle down, take a look at everything. And that's kind of hard to do in a lot of situations.
She seemed very like Velma.
Yeah, that was kind of the point behind that character.
That's the way I tried to play it, and it went pretty well.
I watched the whole stream. I thought it was amazing. I was just laughing and just having a good time the whole.
So Ryu, from your perspective as a DM, how do you think it went? Did we do what we wanted you to do, or did we go off the rails too much?
No, I mean, you guys didn't go off the rails too much. I mean, you didn't pick up all the clues and learn all the story, but I mean, you guys were successful. You essentially saved Cecilia and Wayfarer's Haven. And I mean, when it comes to murder mysteries, I'm not the best because those usually involve, subtlety and motive, and you gotta try and make it look like other people are suspects. And, I'm just not very great at that, but I mean, if everyone had fun, then that's, at the end of the day, that's what I try to accomplish.
There are little prepackaged exit room scenarios that you can do. They can be single player. They're like $15. And that has a lot of whodunit sort of scenario. And it's prepackaged, so you can study it as much as you want to figure out how to do it yourself.
Yeah, I'm just too cheap to do that.
He's like, yeah, nope.
Yeah.
When I was doing Star Wars, I was already committed, but D&D Beyond put out a Strahd Must Die campaign that's 4 hours, kind of Halloween themed, right around this time. I was like, man, that would have been great to run. You literally have 4 hours to confront Strahd. After that 4 hours, doesn't matter where you're at, he's coming.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have a suspect lineup, who done it sort of thing. It was just kind of, oh, it was you all along. But I mean, Just kind of wanted to tell a story, do a little bit of spooks, more or less.
How much was Mr. Big sweating when King came over? It's like little murder, just smidge. He was gonna.
Well, seeing as how Keen was only like maybe 2 feet tall, he probably wasn't threatened by her.
Should have been.
And I got the
Dangerous.
feel of the murder mystery thing. The journal, there was a good amount of clues to kind of lead us, like, to tell me at least that someone we've met is involved in this. Now the guard, I had no idea. To me, that was like, wow.
Yeah, and we never solved the letter either. Did we?
Which letter?
The journal entry that was partially burned.
We did.
We did? I
Oh.
guess not have been there.
Yeah, we had it.
You never found the completed journal because it didn't happen. Basically, the journal was Norman's journal. He was saying that he was dying and that he was fearing for Cecilia's safety.
Right.
And he's basically outlining that he was gonna adopt Alexander.
Hmm.
And I mean, you guys only found one red herring, and that was the bloody dagger. So pretty much all the clues you found led to the right place.
I think you could also argue that probably the guy from Timor, the lawyer guy, was probably a red herring too, in a sense, because like the way he got shuffled off into a room was like kind of suspicious. Like, at least in my character, it's very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Very, yeah.
I thought it was good. I mean, this is a very straightforward adventure. Like, break it down, you're like, there's kind of three major scenes happening, and to do that in 4 hours is pretty good, I guess. We got a little more than 4 hours, I guess. Well, we took a break, so.
Yeah, that was the goal. 4 hours.
Yeah, I think you
Try
nailed
to
it.
keep it short.
Well, right there. Yeah, I think everyone had fun. I got to meet some players in the community that I don't typically interact with. And I spent probably the first 90 minutes kind of just feeling them out, getting to know them a little bit so that I could feel comfortable in role-playing my character, in a sense. Yeah, I'd totally be up for doing more one-shots in the future. So there was some other stuff that happened on the stream as well. This morning I got up real early to play Knights of the Old Republic, and that was a blast from the past for me. This is probably going to be my 4th playthrough of Knights of the Republic, I think, but I haven't played it in, I would say, at least 11 or 12 years, now that I think about it. And playing it, I'm realizing that there are games that I've played that are younger than that game that did not age as well as that game. And I think that game is still very solid. It doesn't have little things like quality of life improvements, like fast travel, or like weapon comparison when you're in the shop and stuff like that. There's something charming about those old school BioWare RPGs that like draw me back to them periodically. Whereas like Morrowind doesn't draw me back, even though it was an amazing game and probably the best Elder Scrolls game ever made. It didn't age well, and it doesn't make me want to go back and play it. But like, that game makes me want to go back and play it again. Maybe I'll do a light side and a dark side playthrough this time around, just because it's such it's a thick game. It's got a lot of content. It's very dense. I imagine you people in here have played KOTOR at least one, or if not two. I know Atherin, you've played KOTOR.
Oh yeah. I did enjoy KOTOR. KOTOR 2 was my jam. Like, I probably played through that game 12, 15 times, light side, dark side, trying to do a neutral character for some odd reason. That one, to me, really captured the Star Wars feel. KOTOR 1's still great, though. I mean, I have it. I play it every now and then.
It's so good. So good. And not a single technical issue compared to the newer games. So
right.
It kept me going with it. Didn't have a single problem with it. Yeah, and now we're here, sort of talking about our, everything that we did this weekend and the hard work that we put in to raise this money, which is over $1,000. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And there's a person we should thank for taking care of all of this business so that I didn't have to, and it's Miss Rainbow here, who organized the schedule, got all that stuff together, popped in people's streams all weekend to talk about the importance of afterlife, sharing her personal story with this because it was very real for her at one point in her life. I'm sure still is now. So you got a lot of props for doing this, because this this is a big deal because we didn't do Extra Life last year because I couldn't do it, so it didn't get done. So this year that we had somebody to be there to anchor the community was a big deal for us, and it showed that this is sort of the culmination of the whole streaming thing we've been building up since the spring, and it came to this, and this is an incredibly successful event in my opinion.
I only ran around with my head cut off a little bit.
That's okay.
I did a little bit of that too.
Okay.
And I mean, she even stepped up and took some time slots for us.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal.
Also, Dazzle,
What?
did Mousy pick the color?
I don't think so.
Dazzle and Mousy were the highest donors on my stream, so they're the ones that get to pick my hair color. So
We haven't quite decided yet. We're thinking strongly.
You
that's
guys
fine.
Post pictures afterwards.
I will.
Oh, very good. So, but yeah, thanks to everyone who came. Definitely thanks Rainbow for organizing all this stuff. I think it went smoother than I thought it was going to go. And that's not a discredit to you. That's like, as the manager who has managed everything in the past, like letting go of a little bit to someone I can trust to do stuff like this. It shows me that like we have good leadership here. We have good people that know what needs to be done and take care of stuff. Like I think Thursday night when you sent me your list of what you were going to go over in the meeting, it was on point. It was everything that I had on my list, just to sort of make sure everything was being done. And I didn't worry after that. I said, you know what? It's going to happen. I'm not going to step up and take extra slots. She's going to figure it out. And you figured it out. You got people out. And even Thuzzle here streamed, which was very surprising. I'm glad you came out to stream. That was awesome. I hate Monopoly, but I watched it.
I was gonna say I saw that and I was like, is Gray letting this go through?
I had no say in the matter. It was Rainbow's event. She can do whatever she wants.
I was like, we can't play this in TTS. What's going on?
The game is banned from the community.
Oh yeah, I made mention of it.
Yes, game. It was Thuzzle's stream.
Yeah,
Thuzzle's
that's
stream,
right.
So we do appreciate people.
My
stepping
wife
up.
is still alive. She's just asleep. I did not murder.
Well, that's good. Well, any last words to say before we wrap this one up? No, everyone's content. Okay, well, I'm happy, and thank you.
Next time, I'm not gonna get no thoughts.
Yeah, I'll do more mornings next year. I promise.
Like I might do like the midnight thing because I could stay up later, but waking up, nightmare.
Yeah, let me tell you, that took a lot of guts for sure. Those time slots are rough.
I personally would like to thank Rainbow. You had a lot of energy coming into this, and every time you jumped into somebody's stream, it kind of brought another sense, another shot in the arm to kind of keep going. And thank you for all that you do here.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. I know I haven't been here super long, so I'm definitely trying my best to make sure I'm putting the right foot forward here.
Well, we hope you stay super long. You did a great job. All right. Well, thanks again to everyone who streamed, even those who could not be here, AI and Crybound. And we will be streaming again at our regularly scheduled stream times starting this Wednesday. So we'll see you all on Twitch, hopefully. And thank you if you were a donator and you watched this. We appreciate it because you know what, the dollar amount raised, it wasn't all of us, it was you guys out there giving the money to Children's Medical Network hospitals to make this a reality for kids that are suffering all over our nation every single day. So those are the people that really deserve the thanks. We organize an event, but you guys make the event happen. If you don't donate, we don't have an event to run. It's empty space. We're talking into a void. So we appreciate all of that stuff. So, any last words, Rainbow? Did you want to say?
Nope, I'm pretty content.
All right. Well, this is Impact Gaming Community signing off at the end of our Extra Life event 2018. We will see you hopefully again next year for another big Extra Life event. Thanks for coming.